Welcome to our webinar on bringing STEM into your classroom. Remember that STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, and that one of our country's major educational goals is to increase the quantity and quality of STEM students in our nation. Hi, I'm Rick Ledbetter, Director of Educational Technologies here at STEMSEMS, and I'll be your host sharing some ideas and tips gained from teaching in STEM classrooms for over 30 years. So exactly how do you do STEM in your classroom? One of the many ways for you to incorporate STEM into your classroom is through the use of the 7E instructional model, which is a sequence of teaching for an individual lesson, an instructional unit, or even for an entire course. The 7E model follows a very natural path that people use to solve problems in their daily lives. Although this model has 7 parts, a traditional one-class period lesson does not have to address all of the 7 parts. The stages can be completed over multiple days or even weeks. In fact, one class period might be dedicated to only one stage of the lesson. The big idea is to have your students over time progress through all of the 7 stages to help them construct their understanding of a core STEM concept. The 7E model has its roots in an earlier model called 5E. Roger Bybee led the team that created a 5E instructional model as part of the Biological Sciences Curriculum Study, or BSCS, program, which was a biology project authored in the 60s and 70s. Arthur Eisencraft of active physics fame modified and expanded Bybee's work from 5Es to 7Es to include the importance of contextual learning. Here at STEMSEMS, we've added our own spin on his model that we think better fits your students' STEM learning needs. In the initial lesson stage called Excite, teachers create interest, generate student curiosity, and help their students become personally connected to the lesson's topic of study. Technically, the first stage of the model is called Engage. However, I prefer to think of this stage as Excite. The main reason for my word preference is, if I yell at you or use my authority position to make you look at me, I have engaged you. However, is that really how I want students to come to the learning environment? By force? Instead, I'd rather attract their attention through their natural wonder and a gee whiz, how or why did that happen experience. Either way you choose to address this initial stage as Engage or Excite, the bulk of the research is very clear. It is impossible to learn something unless a person first attends to it. This means that you must always capture your students' attention at the start of your instruction. And to me, this is the secret of all great teachers. They recognize the classic relationship between student interest and academic performance. You can see on this graph that shows students who are uninterested tend to perform poorly. That makes sense. Likewise, students who are extremely anxious or too excited also fail to achieve up to their potential. Great teachers know how to move their students into that perfect range of excitement where learning is maximized. And these same teachers recognize that learning is an emotional process where a temporary feeling of being lost or slight frustration on the part of the learner is often a necessary step in the learning process. So what are some ways to excite and engage your students? Educators have developed a number of excitement tools. These include teacher questions, demonstrations, challenges posed to their students, and a number of digital resources such as videos, games, and simulations. In fact, almost 3/4 of all teachers believe that digital resources can successfully motivate their students to learn. In STEMSEMS, we have also created a number of ways to excite your students. First, we start each module of study with a challenge question. The challenge presents a STEM-focused problem to the students that they must then solve. Like, how to mine valuable ores from an asteroid, or how to design the most efficient boat hull, or even how to protect a basketball court from an eroding hillside. The challenge gives students real-world problems to solve in a manner that encourages them to apply and extend STEM concepts. For some students, these challenges might be enough to grab their interest. For others, we've produced 4-page brochures with some, "Wow, I didn't know that" type of questions. Like, do you know how many times safer elevators are than escalators? Elevators are about 20 times safer. Or how pelicans desalinate the salt water they drink to make fresh water. They extract the fresh water and sneeze it out as brine. Or how the first weatherman came up with the names for tropical storms and hurricanes. He named them after politicians he disliked. The brochures also have colorful artwork and interest-building activities that students complete to become connected with the lesson. STEM Sims also incorporates high-quality graphics to motivate your students and to remind them that this